Traders, how are you? Welcome. Boom. Welcome to this year's first live Q&A session with Oliver Velez. Of course, my name is Oliver Velez, and I'm here to answer your questions. That's right. I've decided, guys, that it was time for me to bring back two very popular regular live sessions right here on my YouTube channel. And I've done this before, but it's always good for me to do these things intermittently. And now it's time to bring back Q&A sessions. So today is going to be our first live Q&A session this year. Remember, we did this before, where I take your questions and basically address them. You ask anything your little heart desires regarding trading. These Q&A sessions, guys, that I do, will take place every single Monday going forward for a period of time. I don't know how long, but for a period of time, every Monday at this exact time. That is 2 p.m. Eastern time. So every Monday is Q&A, live Q&A session, live Q&A Monday with Oliver Velez. Thursday, same time, every Thursday will be Technical Analysis Thursdays. All right? So some of you might remember that every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, that's New York time, I would take a specific technical concept and do somewhat of a deep dive on that concept. Now, both of these are extraordinarily important because I get feedback in your Q&A sessions. Your Q&A sessions allow me to sort of put a finger on the pulse of where many of you are, what some of your concerns are, what you're struggling with, and things of that nature. This also helps me come up with more poignant content for you. All right, knowing if I get a specific number of questions that seem to center around one thing, I can attack that with special content that basically has all of those make all of those questions go away. So it's valuable in that regard. It's also valuable for us to develop somewhat of a rapport. A lot of times when I do my live sessions here, I can't really interact with you because I power pack every single session with you, and I don't want to shortchange you on what I prepared for you. So a lot of times I just simply, in my live educational sessions, I don't have time to take your questions. And so having a dedicated live session just for that, I think is very powerful. We develop a deeper, more intimate relationship. I get to put my finger on the pulse of where many of you are, what you're dealing with, what issues you have, what content I need to really get out there to make sure that those issues are resolved. And the TNA Thursdays, which actually is our all-time most popular live session, where I take a specific technical analysis concept and do a deep dive on, is also very valuable. And I believe that if you make sure that you take in every single one of those Thursdays, you'll be able to put together a nice little package of technical things that will help you raise your level of sophistication as far as a trader, your consistency as far as a trader, your accuracy as far as a trader, and hopefully that results in your profitability as far as a trader is concerned. All right, so I'll be doing the Mondays and Thursdays for a while, so sit back and enjoy, guys. During each of these sessions, I strongly encourage that you do note-taking, guys. There is magic in the pen. There is magic in putting something down, whether it's in your cell phone or whether you literally are old school like me and like to write things out. There is something transformative that happens when you take something from the ethereal part, the ethereal space in your mind where it doesn't really have physical reality yet, and you actually start the first process of physical materialization of that thing. And that's what taking notes does. It moves it from the ethereal part of your mind into the first form of physical reality. And note-taking has been magical in my life, and I'm always strongly encouraging that you do so as well. If you've been around my work for any period of time, you understand the importance of journaling, you understand the importance of note taking. So please, I strongly encourage that you do that. All right, guys. So as was customary for me to do, I like to kick off every single Q&A session with a theme that comes from a very frequently asked question, and then I open it up to you. So this first Q&A session of 2024 is going to be no different. The theme is indicators, okay? I get probably more questions regarding indicators than anything else. At least it's in the top 5. It's one of the top 5 categories about which I get the most questions. And I'd like to kick off our session here today talking about indicators, because one of the main the questions that come up regarding indicators more frequently are things that are connected to whether or not they're viable, whether or not they're needed. So I'll get things like, Oliver, are indicators necessary for trading the market well? And if they are, what are the best indicators? Can I trade well without indicators? All right. Most of your questions fall around that. Now, I'm going to give you some points to think about here. Do you need indicators to trade? Do they help you trade better? The quick and dirty answer is no, you don't need them to trade well. And in many cases, indicators can impede you from trading well. That's the quick and dirty answer. Let me give you some points here. Those of you who've been following me for a while, you know my pedigree in this space. I started trading the markets in 1981. I started my professional trading career on Wall Street in 1986. 1994, started my own institutional firm, leaving Wall Street to serve other Wall Street firms in 1994. All of you know that. Gone on to train, educate, speak all over the world, thousands upon thousands of traders. I will tell you that I have over my 4 decades of trading experience. I've done the work for you. I've done the investigation. I've done the investigative work for you. I've done the studying for you. I've done the trial and error processes for you. I've done all the testing, backwards, forwards, every which way but loose. And I'm telling you that there is no indicator that I have not explored to the stars and back, that I've not spent a fortune trying to prove whether or not they are useful or not, they have efficacy or not. During my period of searching for the Holy Grail, which is something that all of us go through, I hung my hat on every single virtual indicator you could possibly think of. And the conclusion that I ultimately came up with is that they actually do me a disservice more than they provide a benefit. Now, I'm not here to say that they have zero value in your trading. What I am here to say is that the balance between some of the negatives that they present and the positives are not even. The negatives outweigh the positives, relying on indicators for your decision making and trading. Now, I'm going to give you a couple points I want you to think about here, all right? Not only, here's why. Let me tell you why. Indicators, number one, write this down if you like. Indicators only indicate. The part of the problem is rooted right in the name of the actual item, people. Indicators are designed to indicate. So they are not the truth. They try to indicate what is the truth. So they, in a sense, deflect your attention away from the actual thing that you should be paying the most attention to, the truth. What's the truth in the market? Price. Everything else is non-truth. Price is the truth in the market, period. Your ideas are not the truth about the market. Your thoughts about the price is not the truth. Your feelings about the price is not the truth. The price is the truth. And indicators are designed to indicate something about the truth. So you have the truth and something that indicates about the truth. Now, your focus should be on the truth. But the indicator says, I have something to say about the truth, so you look at the indicator. You have left the truth. You are paying more attention to something that indicates something about the truth when you already have the truth. Indications of something are when you don't have it. A map is an indication of a specific location. You're going to a location that you're not in yet. The map is showing you that location. The map is indicating something about the truth, that specific location. But once you have the location, you don't need the map. When you have the truth, you don't need an indication of the truth. Truth is the only thing you need. In the market, price is the truth. I don't need something to tell me about what I already have. I already have the truth. Now, if I didn't have the price, I would need you to tell me something about the price. Give me an indication of where it is. Give me an indication how it is. How is the truth? What color is it? This and that. Those are indications of the truth that I don't have. But when I have the truth, I don't need a representation of the truth. I don't need a representative of the truth. I've already got the boss. So price is the supreme thing. The indication of the price is a second layer, and it's a second inferior layer to the price itself. So that's reason number one. It's a representative of the truth, and I already have the actual thing. I don't need a second-hand representative. Number one. Number two, all right? Indicators, they are, write this down, they are lagging in nature. All of them. They have to be. They are late, always. Indicators that are designed to specifically give you a reading, let's say overbought, oversold, or to give you a trigger, crossing is a buy, up, crossing down, this line is a sell, so forth and so on. These notifications are always late because of one main thing. The truth, the price, must move big first to move your indicator. I want you to think about this, people. Think about what I'm saying. In order to move an indicator up big, or in order to have two indicators cross, the price must move in one direction big enough to then drag the indicator up or to drag the indicator down. So price moves first, indicator moves second. You're already late. Who wants to be in second? I don't teach you to be second. I teach you to be first. Your indicator is always second or third. It's always late. And the methods and the approach that I teach you here, right here on this YouTube channel, and it's certainly if you're in my family, you really get the deep inside knowledge. You know that my approach is to catch the ignition of a move, not wait for the move to then move something else, then act. It's too late for my traders and me. So I want you to think about that chain reaction, right? Price must move first to then, second, move an indicator big enough to cause a signal that then you act. You're in third place. Price, indicator, you, third place. That's enough to be a consistent loser forever, being third. Do you understand this? Am I making sense here? Do you understand that order? Price must move big first to then move an indicator, and then you act. You're in third place. Do you understand this? Is this making sense to you? Are you angry with me? Some of you indicator supporters, I hope you're not angry with me. I'm just revealing my experience over 40 years. All right? Awesome. Good. I'm not finished though. Reason number 3. So remember, reason number 1, indicators are representatives of the truth, and we already have the truth. I don't need the representative. They can only indicate something about the truth, and I don't need secondhand knowledge. I've got the truth. I've got price. Price is the truth. That's number 1. Number 2, they're late. Price must move big first to then move an indicator. After the indicator moves, then you act. You're in third place using indicators. Okay? Reason number 3. Okay? They are only relative, indicators are only relative to a specific time. Now, this is a problem inherent in a lot of things, but I'll tell you how this problem, how you should be aware of this problem as it relates to indicators. Time. So every indicator needs a unit of time. So if you're using a MACD, it might be, you're using 9, 12, 14. You're using units. If you're using a CCI, you might be using a 5 period or a 3 period or a 9 period. If you're using a moving average, you might be using a 20 period or a 200 period or a 100 period or a 50 period. You've got to have that unit, right? That unit locks the indicator in one specific time zone, which means that it's indicating only in a small window. But reality is bigger than this small window. You might need some information outside of this limited little box that your indicator is based on. Okay? And this often leads, because indicators can only indicate within a small box, and reality is bigger than the box. This leads many indicator-based traders to have different versions of the same indicator. So if they have an indicator called my favorite overbought, oversold indicator, they'll have a 3 period, a 2 period, a 1 period, a 5 period, a 9 period, a 14 period, and a 21 period, and a 50 period, and maybe even a 200 period just to throw on. And all of a sudden, they've got a freaking trading screen that is more dominated by squiggly lines going up and down and moving signals, and they've left and abandoned the truth altogether, price. I see it all the time. I look at a trader's screen and I can tell how bad the trader is as a trader by how full his trading screen is of trading indicators. That dude is distracted away from the truth, further and further away from the truth. He's got more indicators on the chart than the chart itself. He is being pulled in 50 different directions, and all of those directions are designed to take attention away from the only thing that counts, price. Listen, you can't make money by an indicator going up or down, but you can make money by the price going up and down. So where do you think your attention should be? On the thing that you can't make money from going up and down? Or should you just put 100% of the attention on the actual thing that makes you money going up and down? The indicator is a marketing tool to say, don't pay attention to the price, pay attention to me. I will tell you what to do. And I will tell you this, guys, I have seen far too many traders to count, thousands and thousands, who are now in the trading cemetery because of their over-reliance on bullshit indicators. And all of these trading systems you see out there with a price on it, our trading signals have 98% accuracy. Our signals, all that shit is just indicators. It's indicators, which I'm all telling you, it will do more harm to your trading progress than focusing on what the truth is. The trader who trades based on the truth, based on the price activity itself, they are always the superior traders. They are always better, always sharper, always more consistent, always more accurate, always more timely, and always more profitable than an indicator-based trader. Now, of all the indicators out there, my favorite are moving averages. And they have a tremendous number of faults. You guys know, if you follow my work, I tell you right here, you do not look at a chart without the 20-period simple moving average on it. I don't care what time frame it is. You do not look at a chart without the 200-period moving averages, no matter what time it is. You're a silly 1-minute trader, 1 minute chart trader, fine. 2 minute and 200. You trade the 2 minute, okay, fine. 2 minute chart, 20 minute moving, 20-period moving average, 200-period moving average. You trade the 5 minute, okay. 20-period moving average on that, 200-period moving average on that. You trade the daily, fine. 20-period moving average on that, 200. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the market, doesn't matter the time frame. You are going to permanently look at price through the 20 and the 200. So if you follow my work for any period of time, you understand this. So I am not saying zero indicator use. I want you to understand the frailties of being too heavily indicator dependent in your trading. We use the 20 and the 200 period moving average and basically nothing else. But these indicators, the moving average indicators, the moving averages, they are best as trending indicators. They're better used generally as a guide for what the trend is. And that's one use. There's one other use. Location. Trend. So is the 20 pointing up? We're in an uptrend. Is the 20 drifting downward at a 45-degree angle? We're in a downtrend. Is the 20 wavy? We're in a sideways trend. Simple. That's one of its only general focuses. Is the 20 rising at a 45-degree angle? You're in an uptrend. Dips are buyable. Is the 20-period moving average declining at a 45-degree angle or more, or more or less? Yes. Okay, you're in a downtrend. Rallies should not be believed. Shortable. All right, is the 20-period moving average wavy and relatively flat? Yes. All right, you're in a sideways trend. Are those waves tight? Are those waves wide and whippy? All of those things come into play. But generally speaking, moving averages are best used to do that. To quickly to quickly give you a visual picture, up, down, or sideways. The second most valuable thing that moving averages, as my favorite indicators, deliver is helping you know understand the power of location in the market. Many of you know this already. In the real estate market, we know that the three main rules to making money in real estate is location, location, location. Well, that's not very different in the equity or the stock trading market either. The location of your buyable or sellable events matters. In fact, location can matter more than the event itself. If you get a buy event in the wrong location, the buy event is less important. You get that buy event in the right location. Wow. You get a buy event at a rising 20 period moving average. That is better by orders of magnitude than a buy event nowhere in the middle of empty space. If you get a buy event at a flat 200, wow, that is better by orders of magnitude than a buy event in empty space, near nothing. Do you understand? So those are the two main pluses. Those are the two main characteristics that are very positive that moving averages deliver, and that is why I use them. I use them for direction, up, down, sideways. I use them for state as well. And I forgot that. I use them for state. So when the 20 and 200 are tight, that's a narrow state. When they're wide, it's a wide state. We need to be good state readers. And I also use them as location items. Three things. With that being said, outside of those three things, they are freaking horrible. They suck. Do you understand? Outside of being a state reader, is the 20 and the 200 narrow, close together? Is it wide? Is the 20 period moving average rising, falling, flat? Is my event at the 20 or at the 200? Outside of that, my goodness, they're horrible. Use them for anything else, and they suck. You understand? They're just not good outside of that. And so that is my take on indicators. And I decided to kind of do my brief monologue on that, not so brief, but my monologue on this, because this talk should attack like 150 questions that I get on this. All right? That this little monologue here should just solve all of those questions. You will only see me and my traders use the price, events, the 20 and the 200. That's it. We don't need anything else. Everything else is a distraction. And even those moving averages suck outside of the three ways that we use them. All right? All right, so there you go, guys. There you go. There's my little talk on whether or not you need indicators. Become master price readers, guys. Price is the truth. Do you understand this? Price is the truth, not some man-made indicator. All right? All right, so let's talk here. What else do you have? All right. Ray says, I love the real estate reference, location, location, location. That's right. In trading, location is often better than actual your buy and sell events. They're important too. The quality of them are important. But where they happen is a lot more important than the event all by themselves. It's very powerful. Understand that. Okay. Don says he gets trending and wide state confused. Not quite sure why, but maybe we can fix that. Maybe we can fix that. Okay. So let's do it. Let's clear up this confusion. Now, what you're looking at, guys, is Apple. Let me just pull up a 2-minute chart because we predominantly do our income-based trading off the 2-minute chart. Now, I want you to looking at Apple here. Let's do it this way. State is rather simple. We've got the 20-period moving average here, right? And we have the red is the 200, right? Now, if you look to the left-hand side of the chart, where are those two moving averages relatively close together and relatively flat? So close and flat. Not exactly flat. Let's not be ridiculous, but just close and relatively flat right here. So you got close and relatively flat. Where on this chart are they relatively wide apart? Here. All right. So if you were to compare the distance here from the distance here, you would see that this is much wider than this. Many of these circles can fit inside of this big circle. Okay. So narrow state is here. Wide state is here. It's very simple. Okay. Now, trending is different. Trending is different. Trending is what happens between the narrow state and the wide state. Do you understand? So here is narrow state. Now this happened in the form of a gap. So here is wide state. Let's do it like that. Narrow state, wide state, and trending will tend to happen to get you to from narrow state to wide state. You have to trend there or gap there. Okay? But when it doesn't gap there, it trends there. Okay? So if we look at, here is, sure, what the heck happened there? Oh, okay. Here is, now you can see your 20-period moving average is trending. Now, the most powerful trend, guys, is more or less a 45-degree angle of your 20. That's when you know, when you get that 45-degree angle trend, you know red bar taking out the opposite color are buyable events. So you could take out the opposite color, 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 take out the opposite color until that changes. 45-degree angle trends are the easiest part of a trade to just ride and enjoy the gains. Okay? A stock doesn't have to move in a way that delivers a 45-degree, but when you get the 20 operating or moving at roughly 45 degrees, this is what we call a power trend. There are different trends. Power trends are 45-degree angle trends. And that's when you can pretty much just take every single red bar takeout to the upside. If we get a power trend to the downside, it's just reverse. You can pretty much take, let's see if we can get something here. So you can see this period of the 20 is more or less 45. It's not going to stay that way for forever, but during this period, you're more or less 45 degrees to the downside. So every single time red takes out green, boom, there's that sound. Red takes out green, boom, there's that sound. Red takes out green, boom, there's that sound. You see? Now it's going to eventually fail, but you'll get quite a few off during the 45-degree angle trend. So that's the difference between narrow, like understanding state, narrow and wide, and understanding trending, which typically gets you from narrow state to wide and back. All right, I hope that clarifies things. All right, good. What else you got for me here? What other questions you got here? Um, Chris is making a good point here. Chris says that, well, when you zoom into your chart, sometimes the moving average angle can change. This is true. Or if you elongate your chart and it's not like a perfect square, or if it's stretched too long, or your chart on your screen is too vertical, you can unnaturally affect the true angles of things. And this is why you must make sure that when you're designing your page of charts, that each chart is uniform. I like the perfect square chart or something close to it. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Where it's a perfect square, every chart is a perfect square. You understand? Now I have consistency across all of the charts, irrespective of the time frame, and I can now get consistency of angles of moving averages and things. How to, and maybe I'll do a session on this, how to design your trading page, your trading window can have an effect on your trading capability. Just having something in the wrong place might be robbing you of efficiency in your trading. You understand? Putting something that's very important in a difficult place to see on your window, on your screen, is not cool. Having too many things on your screen is not cool, deflecting attention away from the truth. Having too many windows open at the same time, having too few can be a problem as well. So maybe I'll have a special session one day on we'll build a trading page from scratch. Like, where should the 2 minute and the 5 minute and the 15 minute chart and the daily chart go? Where should that go? Where should my level 2 go? Where should my execution module go? Where should this go? Where should that go? And I think that'll prove very, very valuable. I see some really truly messed up trading screens. I really truly do. Most of them look like bowls of spaghetti when I look at them. They've got like 1.5 zillion lines on them. It's crazy. Now, Cuprum 166 is saying, I found that I need a 32-inch screen in order to view 8 charts simultaneously with big enough square screens for all. This might be true, but guys, I'm glad that Cuprum brought this up, because this is a theme that I'm constantly repeating here to you. And I have no problem repeating it, because as many of you know, I'm a big believer that repetition has a big value, huge value, especially as it relates to trading. So I'm going to repeat this. I prefer that you develop yourself to be the most mobile trader that you can be. The last thing I believe you should be doing is to be creating another 9 to 5 type scenario with your trading. Trading has this wonderful ability to free you from the slavery of a 9 to 5 job, to free you from the confines of location, to make you so independent that you are in business virtually every single location on earth, as long as you have a laptop computer and an internet connection. If you get yourself accustomed too much to having 14 different monitors staring at you, giving you radiation poisoning with all of this stuff, and you can't trade without that, you've just created another ball and chain. You've actually robbed yourself of one of the most special characteristics, one of the most special capabilities that this activity, this wonderful activity we call trading, can deliver for you, which is freedom and independence. I have never, in the last, let's say, 20 years, I have never been on a vacation that I have not traded on without interrupting my vacation with my family. I can tell you how many days on 2 hands I've missed trading in 40 years because I don't have to. It doesn't matter where I am. I want you to be as independent, as free as possible. And you can only do that if you get used to being a minimalist in your trading. Minimalist, where your system doesn't demand a whole bunch of internet bandwidth. Minimalist for that. And minimalist so that you can basically, your whole income generating powerhouse can be like this. It's funny. I travel sometimes, and people who get a chance to see me or know me in these places say, Oliver, I can't believe it. All of all of your gains, all of your profitability comes from this? I'm like, yeah. In reality, it doesn't come from this, it comes from me. But I use this. But guys, I train all of my traders to be, I try to train the majority of them to be laptop warriors. Now, it's not as convenient as having 14 different screens. I get it. But if your goal is to be as independent, as free as possible, you do need to be that. You need to learn how to trade adequately off of a laptop. That is the most mobile you can be. And I believe that's very important. Ark is asking, can we expect a bearish movement in the remainder of September? Who knows? But we know that September is statistically one of the weakest, if not the weakest month of the year statistically. And so, so far it's sort of panning out that way. That's no surprise to us. But remember, guys, that September weakness is the precursor for the late October, not the beginning of October, the late October, November, December strength. So late October, November, and December are statistically skewed to the upside in a very powerful way because August and September are typically soft and negative. So remember, you have to squat before you leap. So August and September are the market's squat, And the leap after the squat comes late October, November, December, statistically speaking. Not the same every year, but the majority of the years, that's how it pans out. Those who are not aware of these repetitive cycles in the market, they have a harder time understanding what's going on. And as a result of that, they have a harder time developing some type of consistency in their trading, you know? And let me give you an example of that. So I think that one one of the things that I have found that communicates that the best, a recent image I came up with recently, a recent image I came across recently. I'll show it to you. Give me just a second here, if I can. To use, I'm going to use Bitcoin here, but it's not just applicable to Bitcoin. It's just that this chart is revealing what is more applicable to Bitcoin. But I want you to look at what you're looking at here. You're looking at January, February, you're looking for it at an entire year of this is like the last 14 years of all the Januaries over the last 14 years, all the Februaries over the past 14 years, all the Marches and so forth and so on over the past 14 years. Now, when you look at all of them over the past 14 years from 2010 to 2024, that's 14 years, you'll see that the two down months are August and September. They have an average down month, and all of the other months don't have an average down. It doesn't mean, now understand this, guys, it doesn't mean that you can't have a down other month. We're talking the average. The only 2 months that have an average down month, average is negative, is August and September. This phenomena is the dip. Do you understand? This is the dip that leads to the leap. And as far as Bitcoin is concerned, it leads to the leap in October, November, December, then continues in January, February, March, and peaks oftentimes in April and May. So those who don't understand this will panic in September and give up their merchandise to people who understand what's happening next. Same in your trading. If you don't understand that there are certain characteristics, guys, in the market in August and September that don't exist in other parts of the year, if you don't understand that, then how do you make adjustments? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the trader that doesn't understand that September is statistically bearish to the downside, if they don't adjust their bullish buy only approach to the market, they're going to get killed in their trading. Do you understand? They not knowing this will prevent them from creating trading plans that are more suited for a September environment, August environment, versus a November environment, an April environment. Those are typically very bullish environments. You got to know your cycles, guys. You got to know your cycles. You know, you got to know them. Sean is saying price. Sean is asking, so Oliver, price, moving averages, 20 and 200, knowing how to read state, narrow, wide, trending. Those are 3 states, right? Okay. State, and what is he saying here? And laptop, good laptop. What else does it take to be a minimalist? That, as far as the tools that you need to trade with, I would say just a good trading platform. All right. And that's it. Now, these are the tools: price, moving averages, basic knowledge of state reading, location reading, things that these are the basics. Understand that a tool is only as good as the user of the tool. And a lot of traders get stuck on this where they start searching for, oh, my executions are too slow. Well, maybe your slow executions are saving you from yourself. Because if you're a bad trader, then all faster executions are going to do is send you to the poorhouse faster. You're just going to get, your losses are going to get filled faster, right? You know, I don't want you falling for this trap that you can improve your trading by improving your tools. You cannot. Sometimes improved tools, if you remain a bad trader, the improved tools just make you go to the cemetery faster because your tools are good. But it can only make losing better because you're a loser. So better tools only make what you are better. If you're a loser, better tools make you a better loser. Do you understand? Don't get this twisted. Stop the search for better this and better that, and focus on where it needs to be focused. Become a different you. Become more disciplined. Become more knowledgeable. Become more informed. Become become better at trading, journaling your trades. Become better at cracking open the losses to find out what's the common theme running through my losing trades. And let me focus on, when I find that, focus on killing that. This is the process of becoming a better you. And when you become a better you, that better you flows through your tools. A better carpenter will express his better skill through the tools. Those same tools, to someone who knows diddly about carpentry, will express chaos. The same tools. All right? So understand that. Great Filibuster says, haha, that is completely true. Like giving a bad driver a faster car. Absolutely. And guys, I will tell you, the numbers of people out here trapped in this vicious cycle. You know what that vicious cycle is? This vicious cycle of searching for the Holy Grail. I was trapped in it. Searching for the Holy Grail, staying the same. Staying the same me, but thinking that a new trading book will do it. Staying the same me, but thinking a new shiny trading indicator that I never heard of will do it. Staying the same me, but thinking a new laptop's gonna make me better. Staying the same me, but thinking switching to a different brokerage firm is gonna make it better. Switching to better execution, switching to a better trading platform. Going to a better organization, finding a different mentor, but staying the same me. You can get trapped there your whole life. And it is not until you stop, stand still, turn around, and look at yourself. Because your success is not in the market. Money's not in the market. Money is in here. The market is a tool. No different from a carpenter's hammer, screwdriver, saw. That's a tool. He uses those tools to make money. But his money, the carpenter's money, is inside of him. Those tools laid down on a table do nothing. until the carpenter takes up the tool and his skill flows through the tool. So the tool needs his skill to flow through it. So where's the money? In the tools or in the carpenter? It's in the carpenter. Where's your money? It's in you. I don't care what trading platform you get. I don't care what brokerage firm you have. I don't care what amazing indicator you have. I don't care what you have. All of those are tools. Now, you are going to flow through those. Who are you? Who are you? Now, if you keep running away from you, thinking you're going to find something different, staying the same you, I have something for you to ponder. Wherever you go, there you are again. If you've been experiencing loss here, losing, you said, I'm leaving this, I'm going somewhere else. Wherever you go, you're going to find yourself there again. I'm going to a different mentor, Oliver. Oliver, I lose money with Oliver. I'm going to a different mentor. I need another mentor. Okay, fine. Wherever you go, there you are again with that mentor too. I got to get another trading book, another trading course, Oliver, another trading course. Wherever you go, there you are all over again. All right? Until you start making these things, this information, this knowledge, or whatever, change who you are. You have to first become a better you. And it is that better you that creates better results. The same you can only create the same results. So the change is not in the market, the change is in you. Now, this might smack very philosophical to some, but it's really not. It's common sense. It doesn't even border the philosophical. It's common sense. All right? If I am undisciplined and I cannot keep a single promise to myself, I will not lose more than $100 on any given trade. And then you lose 300 and 400 and 800 and 600. You can't take that lack of discipline, keep it, go somewhere else and think that you're going to have different results. You have to become someone that is more disciplined than that first. Then that more disciplined you flows through your tools and creates different results. I have this very famous, somewhat famous, popular YouTube video. I think it's titled, "Money is not in the market, it's inside of you." Go listen to that. It's old. It's an old video. But I promise you, it will rile you up to understanding this. And it's this very powerful, people, when you understand I am in control of whether I'm successful or not. Like, okay, this should be a relief that you don't have to go find it. Because initially you think you got to go find it. Where is it? Is it with Oliver? Is it with someone else? Is it with this service? Is it with that service? Is it with this broker? Is it with this indicator? Is it with this technique? Is it with that? Is it with that strategy? Is it, it's never freaking ending, right? And then you realize, wait a minute, it's none of that. It's me. That should be a big freaking relief, no? That I can do it myself. I can become more disciplined. I can start keeping my promise, my word. I can start cutting my losses in half. My losses last week were this. I added all of my losses up last week, divided the loss by the number of losing trades, and found out my average loss per trade. Now, this week, I am going to, if my life even if my life depends on it, I'm going to make sure every single loss is half of this amount. Now, that's a great plan. It is impossible to stay the same if you do that. That is the action that changes who you are. That's totally in your control. That's not in a book. That's not in anything. That's inside of you. My average loss per trade was $280. I'm cutting that in half this week. I don't even care about making money this week. My goal is as a successful week. This week will be successful if every single loss is half of this number. You start doing things like that, you're gonna see miracles happen. You can't cut your losses in half and not see something positive happen. How? How is that possible? How is I successfully cut all my losses in half? How can you not see something positive from that? It's impossible. Impossible. These are the ways you affect change. It's all within yourself. All right. Tom Wynn, nice. Welcome. Great Finders, welcome. Premium OV membership. I don't even know what that is, but I appreciate you guys being here. I'm teasing you. Awesome. Surter says, Oliver, legend, you changed my life. You have no idea. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow. What a legend. All the best from Scotland. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I've shared this story before. A lot of people ask me, like, why do you do this, Oliver? Why do you spend a lot of time with this? Why do you spend a lot of time answering questions or whatever? Just to make a long story short, because I've told this story so many times, I made a promise to my personal God several decades ago. In my closet, it used to be so dark and depressed. I would literally go into my closet, people, and close the door with a blanket and a pillow and not come out until the next day. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Just disgusted with myself, with life, with trading, everything. And one of those nights in my closet, I made this promise that if I ever make it, if I ever get to a place where I have something valuable to share, I'm going to do it. Because one of the things that really, truly frustrated me was that there was nobody to help me. Guys, I wanted to do this more than anything else in life. Do you understand? Like nothing else in life mattered to me. Nothing. There's only one thing I wanted to do, and that was this. I wanted to trade. And I had zero interest in anything else. There was no B. There was no plan B. I just had a plan A. And what frustrated me was that there was just nobody around to help, to ask questions to. Nobody who had gone down the path and could reflect to me some of the lessons they learned or help me, I don't know, sidestep some of the dead ends, because there's a lot of dead ends in this. You can go down a dead end for a year and a half and realize I freaking wasted a year and a half of my life thinking this was good. Now it's not good. And so this, more than losing, just being alone really killed me. Having no one to talk to, everyone thinking you're a freaking lunatic. My parents, like, Oliver, you threw your education away to gamble? Like, you're a gambling fanatic. What's the matter with you? It's funny. My mother-in-law, talking to my wife, I would hear them upstairs. who is this Oliver? Who did you marry here? He's, all he does is sit in front of that computer playing video games, and he doesn't even shower. She called it video games. Now she's my best friend, but you know how it goes. Anyway, I made this promise a long time ago that this was so frustrating to me that if I ever reached a place where somebody wanted to hear what I had to say, or if there were people that were going to come up into this after me, I wanted to leave a body of work. I wanted to leave a legacy behind. I wanted to leave some lampposts because it was truly, truly bad. And I made that promise, and I kept that promise, and I'm keeping that promise. I'm keeping that promise here every single day. Guys, a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money goes into delivering a piece of content to you every single day here. Like, I know a lot of watchers, you don't understand what goes into this. I have an entire team. This team has full-time salaries and benefits and this and that. Like, it's not something I can freaking whip up. You understand? And it costs me to do free content here. It costs me. And not to speak of time, hours upon hours upon hours a day goes into this. So I just hope you appreciate it. I hope it means something. I hope you appreciate it. And I want you to know that it is pregnant. Every piece of content is pregnant with this promise that I made a long time ago. It is my duty because of that promise I made. And I hope you feel that effort in it. I hope you do. All right. I hope you feel me pouring my heart out sometimes here. And that's just because of that promise. You know. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the comments here. Shoot. Wow, we've been going for quite a while, but I've been ranting here, guys. I apologize about that. You know me. All right. Would I make a video about, Casper's asking me, would I make a video about Forex and indices? It's super exciting. Yes, I can do that. I absolutely can do that. I like the Forex market because when the currencies get on a trend, a lot of times those trends can be a lot more enduring than other markets. But in the Forex world, I like the bigger time frames actually. I like slightly bigger time frames than I do in the equity trading world. I mean, when I'm talking about trading for income. So in the on the equity side, on the stock side, I like trading in the 2 and the 5 minute time frames. In the Forex, I actually, I like the 15-minute time frame, which brings me back to my original roots because I started my entire technical approach to trading with a 15-minute chart back in the 1980s, late 1980s. So before that, I did not trade based on technicals. I traded based on price flow. And so charting was never a part of my world during my the first phase of my trading career. So the technical approach became more and more available because of technological advancements. We just simply didn't have access to good real-time charting back in the 80s. So you use level 2 and you use price flow, you use the ticker tape. You tape read in the 80s. You didn't look at charts in the 80s. It was a very different approach to the markets. I will tell you that that tape reading period did give me a feel that I believe is superior to any field that can be developed just starting with charts. Now, that doesn't mean you should go to tape reading. Don't do that. It's not the same today. But back then, being able to actually witness and experience and see and almost feel and touch every single transaction that makes a bar. So think of a 2-minute bar. How many transactions are made up of that? Is that 2-minute bar made up of 10,000, 15,000, 8,000? There's a lot of trades that make up that 2-minute bar depending upon the stock that you're trading, right? But what if you witness all of them? What if you actually experience every single trade that made up every single 2-minute bar? Now, wouldn't that give you a more refined feel? I bless that period in my life where charts were just not available. Guys, I worked for two of the biggest firms on Wall Street. We didn't have charts. We didn't have charts. We sat in front of a screen. There's a big ticker tape on the wall, and we sat in front of a screen with prices moving up and down every single transaction. And we traded off of that. But yeah, you guys are watching the bars. That's a more general view, but we were watching the minutia, every little tiny trade that went by. And that did develop a feel for the markets that I think are unrivaled today. Now, unfortunately, you can't develop that feel tape reading today because the vast majority of, or a big chunk of the market's liquidity is really hidden from you. It's operated on gray and dark pools of liquidity. It's just not, you just don't have access to it. I'm talking about a time where every single trade was accessible. There were no hidden trades. There were no dark pools of liquidity. There was no hiding of anything. There was off the floor trading, but those block trading off the floor didn't really affect you as a trader. All right. All right. Cool, guys. Sos bandits in the 90s rocked. VWAP is saying, yeah, actually, guys, I am one of the, I don't know if you guys are familiar with SOS trading, or SOS bandits, they used to call us, what VWAP is referring to. SOS stands for Small Order Execution System. This was a system that was created by the NASDAQ in the late 1980s, actually, and then shelved. They were required to create a system in the wake of the 1987 crash that allowed regular individuals to be able to transact in 1,000 shares or less without human intervention, without having to get a broker. The reason why Congress demanded that NASDAQ create something like this or go out of business is because during the 1987 crash, most brokers just backed away from calls. So every call that came in when the market was collapsing in 1987, October of 1987, every call, the brokers, the NASDAQ market makers knew this call is a sell. And if I take it, I'm going to have to buy it. So the market makers said, I'm not buying this falling knife. I'm not answering the phone. And so that's called backing away, which is illegal now. After that, it's illegal to back away. So because everyone backed away during 1987, causing the little guy mostly to get killed because he couldn't get anyone to get his trade done, right? It says, they told NASDAQ, you make an electronic system that it doesn't matter if someone backs away, this thing gets filled for them. And it is this mandate that kicked off the electronic trading era. NASDAQ created the SOS system, which stood for small order, not institutional order, not big order, small order execution system. SOS was the acronym. But when they satisfied this, they didn't really want to make it available. So NASDAQ satisfied Congress. Here it is. Okay, good. You can stay in business. Then they took the SOS system and put it on a shelf. Well, as you would know, I was one of the first 8 traders to pull it off the shelf. So I was one of the first original 8 traders. to start trading through the small order execution system. And I'm telling you, we freaking raked it in. Wow. Wow. Um, that's a long story. I think I've told that story a couple times too before. It's somewhere on my YouTube channel, what have you. But you are trading electronically now over the internet because of that move right there, because of the creation of the small order execution system. That was the first domino to really fall in this long path to you being right here, being able to press a button no matter where you are in the world and get executed and filled. It started with the advent of the SOS system, the small order execution system. And I was one of the first 8 traders to access it. Yeah. Montez, I've been following you since the 90s in the old Traders Library videos. Yeah, you remember that. Long time, buddy. You are the GOAT. I appreciate that. Montez, I appreciate that. Yeah, I still get some people who are back in the 90s trading with me. Um, Not so many anymore from the 80s. I used to, but not so many. VWAP, yeah, used to do 500,000 a year trading SOs, huh? Yeah, those were the days, man. We raked it in, guys, trading the SOS system. Wow. Back in those days. All right. I appreciate that, Prab Hanjan. I did read your message for the second time. I appreciate what you're saying. Thank you. Please tell, boss, is the 20 better than the 50? Well, do you see me using the 50? All right. So the question is, guys, is the 20 period moving average more superior than the 50 period moving average? And it really, and I, I flippantly make a response like, all right, do you see me using the 50 period moving average? And you don't. Do you see me teaching about it? And you don't. And the reason is because predominantly the style that I teach you is an income producing style of market play. All right. And for the income producing style of market play, you need moving averages that are going to be more relevant to a smaller window of time. So, for instance, look how far, I'm going to show you something. Look how far in this move down, you've got a 3-leg move down here in Tesla. Okay, so to make sure I have the charts up. So you got a 3-leg move down. Let me show you. One leg, here's the interrupt. And that's leg 1, right? And then the second leg, this is a little too brief to call it an interrupt. It's a pause, right? Here's your interrupt. See, this is a pause. That's a difference between pauses and interrupts. Okay, got to know these nuances. And then here is your final, so leg 2 and your final leg 3. All right. Now, a lot of times your moves are typically over after 3 legs. All right. If you're following me for a while, you know I'm a big believer in that number 3. Okay. So 3 pushes and 3 legs and so forth and so on. That number 3 shows up a lot. So anyway, look at the 20 period moving average. I just want to show you this. Wait, let me just make sure I have that. Wait a minute. That might not be even. Let me just make sure. No, that's not. I knew that looked kind of far. Let me get the 20 period moving average up here. I knew that looked off. Okay, here we go. Now, look at the 20 period moving average. You see? Now, where do you think the 50 is going to be? The 50 is a bigger, so isn't it going to be like over here? So, how is this relevant to this price activity here? It's not. The 50 will tend to statistically be too far away from the action to matter in an income producing approach to the market. Now, I'm assuming everyone here, or most people here, are looking to spruce up their income producing approach to the market. And the reason why I believe the majority of you, this is what you want right now, is because you want to be able to virtually every single day pull something out of the markets. And if you're really good, you want to get to a place where what you're pulling out of the markets every single day is more than enough to satisfy a good life, living a good life day to day. You pull out more on a daily basis, on average. So even incorporating some down days, your average pullout is greater than living a good life, meaning you can pretty much do anything you want to. And I'm assuming you don't want to have to sit in front of a computer for 8 hours to accomplish that. You want to be able to do that in a relatively short period of time. So if this is your desire, if this is what your goal is, you are honing an income approach to the market. In this approach, 50 period moving averages are too big. Now, if we start to expand the approach, I want to hold things for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Now you can start to incorporate a bigger moving average because your window is bigger. Do you understand? But when your approach is predominantly income producing, you want closer moving averages that will be more relevant to shorter moves. And that's not the 50 period moving average. So it's not that one is more important, it's just that for our approach and style, the 20 is far more superior than the 50 because it's relevant far more often than the 50 is relevant. All right? Talking about state here, guys. When we're talking about state, this is Tesla, right? So this should be very clear to you. I'm going to close on this, right? Remember I was explaining to you how the 20 period moving average and the 200 can help you determine the state of your stock. So here's narrow state where they are close together and relatively flat. This moves to wide state where they are wide apart. From wide state, we go back to narrow state where they are close together. And guys, this is the only thing markets do over and over again. Do you understand? Boom. That's all it does over and over again. Sometimes it just does it backwards like this, upside down. That's the downward move. This is the upward move out of a narrow state. Sometimes you get the downward move out of a narrow state. And it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. If you understand this concept, and if you don't, there's a lot of content, guys, on this page that you should be taking in. Do you understand? There's a lot of it here. If you don't understand this, find that content right here on my page. Find that content where I'm talking about learning how to read states, because that is the foundation for everything. You got to understand states and locations. That's the cornerstone. Then if you understand that, you're building on strong, firm ground. Did I lose anybody here? Did I lose something here? Somebody's calling me. Oh, I didn't show the screen. I didn't show the screen. Is that what it was? All right, I can do that. Let me do it again. Let me just make sure I'm showing the screen now. Okay, I'm showing the screen now. I'll do it again. So here's Tesla, right? Okay, here's Tesla. I have this now, right? Let me just make sure. I'm showing the screen now, right? Good. So here is Tesla. Look at the 20 and the 200. Look at how flat they are. You see? Flat. And tight and narrow, right? Now, and look at the price. You see the price is also tight there? So the two moving average and price is tight. Now look here. The price, the 20, and the 200 are far apart, right? So here is narrow state, wide state, right? Now what's in between? Trending state, right? But the point, now I want to bring your attention over here. You go back to narrow state, right? Price, 20, and 200 all together again, right? So we went from narrow to wide to narrow again. And that's all markets do, guys. All markets do is repeat this over and over again. They look like this. Narrow, wide, narrow. Or sometimes the other way. Narrow, wide, downward, narrow again. In the Tesla here, we had the wide to narrow to the upside here. In another point, you have it to the downside. You know, you're moving to the downside. Wide to narrow again, you see? So when you understand that the market just does this over and over again, right? When you understand this, market does this, here, narrow, wide, narrow, and narrow, wide, narrow again. It does the narrow to wide up and the narrow to wide down. That's its only choice. It can only keep doing one of those. It can only do those over and over and over again. This is the foundation, guys, of everything. Your states are the foundation of everything. State and then location in that state. They're the pillars. Then you build on top of those pillars. And the numbers of people in the world who understand this, that are even out in the markets, they're sloshing around, losing their money, their family's hard-earned money, wondering why. The numbers of people who understand this are very small. You understand this now, which really automatically puts you head and shoulders above the vast majority of people out there that don't even know anything about state. State what? What is state? The majority of people out there. Location, I thought that's real estate. The majority of people out there. But if you get state and location right as the foundational core principles, then now we have something to build on. And your odds of really progressing at a very, very nice clip, a nice pace from that foundation is very, very high. All right? So there you have it, guys. My first Q&A session back here, guys. A little rusty. We'll keep refining it. I'll keep refining it. I will get better and better and better every Q&A session, I promise you. But don't forget, guys, this upcoming Thursday, we've got the TNA session. Same time, same channel, 2 p.m. New York time. I'll see you there. In the meantime, stay safe, trade well. Ciao for now. Boom. Boom.